Welcome back to the JDW Sports Talk Show, and today I'm going to be talking about the Indianapolis Colts and whether or not they're going to trade up or trade down or stay put. You know, the majority of the years that Chris Ballard was here with Indianapolis, he has traded back a lot. You know, um, he's also traded up a few times, but his main thing is trading back, getting more picks, and getting more players, getting more solid players to build around and really build on the team that we already have. Some of the needs that the Colts have, I'm probably gonna sound like a broken record, but they need left tackle, they need edge. Don't be surprised if Ballard drafts a linebacker earlier than expected. They definitely have some needs. Maybe they draft a safety later on because they do like to run three safety sets. You know, they there's a lot of possibilities here. And maybe even you look for a future corner later in the draft. There's a lot of possibilities in this draft, and I think Chris Ballard is going to want to trade back to maybe fulfill more of those opportunities than you would be able to at number 21. He may want to recuperate and get some of those and get some of that draft capital back from when he traded Carson Wentz, which I will not be shocked. There's very few players that are left at 21 that Chris Ballard probably would be happy with drafting. There's the likes of Kwity Paye, Jalen Phillips, Christian Darrisaw, and I've recently heard they're really interested in left tackle out of Oklahoma State University and Tevin Jenkins. There's really a few players at 21 that Ballard would be willing to take. He's not going to reach. He's not going to make a wild pick. He's going to go with the best player in his mind. And if there's no premier blue chip player at 21 that Ballard or Frank Reich think that's worth the 21 pick, they will trade back. They don't care. They're not going to reach. They're not going to, just pick him because he's there. They're going to make the right pick. There's a difference in making a pick and making the right pick. And Chris Ballard and Frank Reich understand that, you know, and they've done that these last few years. They've traded back, a few years back, they traded back to get Rocky Sin, and they used other picks to really build that roster. And then maybe the most notable one the one that really kickstarted this roster is when they traded back with the New York Jets. You know, Jets traded like 2 or 3 seconds. Their first, we just swapped firsts, and we still got the player that we wanted, and we still built that roster. And that trade back proved to be faithful, and it proved that it's not worth just making a pick. You want to make the right pick. You want the right player. You want the right team to build upon. And that's what Chris Ballard has been saying this whole while. So he's been trying to get through to us, but some of the media doesn't understand. Some of the media, some are split. Some really want edge rusher. Some really want left tackle. And I truly understand both sides. It's hard for me to take a side right now. I'm trying to pick a side. I keep going back and forth between tackle and edge. I think those are the two positions that we really need to focus on early on. But I'm having a difficult time choosing between because do you really want a bad left tackle going next year? I heard Julian Davenport is okay. His PFF grade was above 70. I don't know too much about him. I've actually heard Sam Tevi is actually really terrible. I don't know much about him, but I heard he's pretty bad, and he almost got Justin Herbert killed a few times. Um, so do you really want those two below average guys protecting a guy with the big injury history? All it takes is one guy to come off the edge and really hit him hard, and then, or even just hit him a little bit, and that's it. That's it with every hit, though. Any hit could be a serious injury. We saw the Ryan Shazier thing, and then you go on defense. You have edge rusher. You want to get a good edge rusher because a good pass rush is key to this Tampa 2 defense. If you don't have a good pass rush, man, it is easy for any quarterback to pick you apart. We've seen that with Gardner Minshew. He first week our pass rush was bad. It was bad. And Gardner Minshew picked the Colts apart big time. And we've seen it a couple times throughout the year when the passers seem to disappear. And the Bengals game is another example. The Browns game, when our pass rush wasn't solid, look what happened. It's really vital to get in a good pass rush to really fuel this defense. And then that brings you back to the free agency where some people were really upset with Ballard for not making any moves. There were many names out there in Carl Lawson, Yannick Ngakoue, just to name a few. And Clowney is still out there, but I really don't want Clowney. Clowney isn't a Ballard guy, in my opinion. He's out there for the money. I'm just not a big fan of Clowney. He's been hurt a lot. Not really what we're looking for as a Colts, or Chris Ballard and Frank Reich is looking for. So, yeah, I'd say a hard pass on him. But, one player that I really would have liked Chris Ballard to be a little more aggressive on was Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick Ngakoue was a young player. He's young. He's young, and he has tremendous upside, and he is very good at this point in his career. Very good. And that's one player that I think Chris Ballard really should have went after. And then you had Carl Lawson, who was decent. But I'm not, I don't know. I don't really want to pay that much to an edge rusher. Yeah, you're not going to get a premier edge rusher for cheap. We all know that. Unless you get lucky or you just draft one early enough. Or you hit a home run on one at any point in the draft. It's You'll have to see where it goes and where this off season continues to go. So let me know what you Colts fans think. Oh, we could have also signed Trey Hendrickson, but I'm not a huge fan of signing Trey. I was not a huge fan of him because I think the Bengals severely overpaid for him. What was it? 4 years, 60 million, 15 mil a year. I think that was severely overpaid because he had one good year, and that kind of scared me because he only had one good year. He had one breakout year. I would have gave him like maybe a 1 year, $15 prove it year, but not a 4 year, $60 million deal. Him coming off of one good year. That's where I think the Bengals are gonna make a mistake with him. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you Colts fans think. This is my thoughts on trading up or trading down. Maybe some of the players that we can maybe pick up. Maybe Brevin Jordan is there number 2 in the second round, third round. I heard some people really like him. People like Pat Freiermuth. I guess we'll see what happens. Guess we'll see. Only time will tell, and we'll only really know when draft night comes. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you Colts fans think. And as always, just like Bring the Juice says, go Colts.